Hey y'all, it's Elliot, the Road Warrior Prepper. Um, Filming this on Christmas Day, so Merry Christmas to you. Sure, you won't get this or see this until after Christmas. I think it goes up on December 26th. What I wanted to talk to you about today is we drove to Kerrville, Texas. It was about a 4-hour trip to visit my wife's family for Christmas. And we were staying in this lovely home back here at this big, beautiful yard. Well, Kerrville is a medium-sized town of 22,000 plus people. And let me tell you, if we were to get a shit hit the fan type situation, I'll be glad that I'm not in a big city. And so I wanted to talk to you about why I think that we have made the right decision by moving into our RV, giving up our traditional sticks and bricks, and the preps that we were able to do in that situation. You know, when we lived in rural South Carolina, we had a hobby farm where we had a victory garden. We had goats, we had sheep, we had chickens, we had ducks, we had water catchment. We had everything a prepper would want. In the Victory Garden alone, I bet we canned probably over a year's worth of food every day. I mean, every year. So we were getting ahead on the food we needed. And we can't carry that in our motorhome. But what we do have is mobility. If you look at the news with all of the peaceful riots that have happened across the country, you know, we're able to move. If things get so bad that we have to go down the road, if we're stuck in a beautiful home like this with everything we own here, then we just have to hunker down, or you would have to hunker down and make the best of it. Not us. Everything we own pretty much is in our 32-foot motorhome. We have a complete systems. We can make our own electricity. We got a huge gas tank. We can carry 90 gallons of fuel. I have a 7 kW generator. I have 60 gallons of fresh water. I have my own sewer system on board that we can go, if we had to push it, we could go 2 or 3 weeks without having to dump our tanks. On top of the 60 gallons of fresh water that we carry on the camper, I carry several cases of water in the back of my Jeep, and we have a minimum of 2 weeks food. So let's say we're in Portland, Oregon, and they start having more peaceful riots. We're able to move down the road. We've got everything we need. We've got our food, until we find a nice small community, hopefully with like-minded people that we've met in groups like this, like the Road Warrior Prepper group, or I have a friend of mine in Montana that is called the Practical Civilian. He also lives in a camper, and we can get together with people like that. If we need to, we've got a storage unit in central South Carolina that we can get back to, where we've got other things stored that we need for along the road. So as long as gas is still flowing, you know, we can get down the road. If gas isn't flowing, we've got enough gas to get to a safe location, and then we can continue from there. And the other thing this lifestyle has provided us with is we have learned how to camp without a campground. We boondock all over the place. We could find BML land. We could find vacant lot in a small community that we could go to until things calm down. So I think that's one advantage that we have by living in a motorhome or a camper or a fifth wheel or whatever your thing is. But I think it gives a distinct advantage. I've also got things on board that I can barter with. I've got a small supply of constitutional silver. I've got silver rounds. I've got small bullion, gold bullion. I've got, gold backs. We've got, like last week's video, I've got a stash of knives that I can trade. Got cash on hand that I can trade for things I need. I don't think the cash will be good for a long time, but in the beginning, before people really understand what's going on, the cash will be enough to help us to get down the road. So I'm not so worried about gas as long as there's electricity flowing. But what we try to do is we work camp across the country, and we try to stay in small communities where we don't have to worry about these big outages. So like where we are right now on the Gulf Coast of Texas. If we had to, we could stay there for a year or two. If the systems are down, we're not going to get kicked out of the campground because nobody there is paying. Nobody'd be able to pay. And we might not have electricity, but working for the staff there at the campground, we've got lots of fuel on hand for all our equipment. I could barter for some of that fuel to keep my generator running. We carry propane. I've got a 24-gallon propane tank on my camper. I've got two 30-pound cylinders that I carry with me, and a 20-pound cylinder. And if you've watched my video about how to use our extend-a-stay to hook up regular canisters to our camper, we could prolong being able to cook, heat, and that sort of thing. And by working in the campground, we've got a 1,000-gallon tank at the campground that we sell out of that I could tap into to extend my stay. So there's a lot more resources than just what we have on board to be able to manage a shit hits the fan situation. So I think that we are definitely far ahead of people that live in a traditional community. I look here at my brother-in-law's house, and they've got enough food to make it till Friday in there. Now, they do have water. He's got a swimming pool in the backyard, but guess what he doesn't have? He doesn't have a way to purify it. I've got a Berkey system in my camper. If I had to get water out of the pool or something, if I had to have it to cook or shower or flush the toilet, I could run it through the Berkey if I needed to, and have basically unlimited water. So I think the situation that we're in will put us a light years ahead of your citizen that's going out of control. And plus, being that we try to stay in small rural communities, we are able to insulate ourselves from all the craziness that goes on in the streets. So anyway, that's my message this week is, why I think that we made the right decision, and why maybe you should consider also giving up the traditional prepping in a house and be less traditional, and maybe do something like we're doing in an RV. Anyway, let me know your thoughts below. You can always support the channel. I got an Amazon link down there. If you want to buy prepping supplies through Amazon, I ask you just use our link, and we'll get a little bit for that. And thank you for your generosity and your help. You stay safe, and we'll see you next week. Happy prepping.